Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start the chapter number 8 of biology, that is nutrition. So the first thing we talk about is the organisms that are the autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotroph organisms obtain water, carbon dioxide and minerals from the environment and prepare their food by themselves. They used for the growth and energy. On the other hand, the heterotrophic organisms obtain their food from the other organism and use it for their growth and energy. So the mineral nutrition plants is the first thing we say that the nutrients are of two different types, the macronutrients and the micronutrients. Micronutrients are the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, magnesium, means these are present in the large quantities. Similarly, the nutrients which are required in the small quantities are called as the micronutrients. For example, iron, molybdenum, boron, chlorine, etc. So if any of these nutrients is not available to the plant, they show different abnormalities and do not grow normally. Here we can see it in the table. So through this table we can see the role of important nutrients in the plant life, like the macronutrients and micronutrients. Phosphorus is a micronutrient. It is an important component of the ATP, nucleic acid coenzymes, and necessary for seed germination, photosynthesis, protein formation, etc. Potassium, it regulates the opening and closing of the stomata, reduces water loss from the leaves. Sulfur is the component of proteins, vitamins and enzymes. And calcium, it activates enzymes. A structural component of cell wall, influences water movement in the cell. Now we'll come towards the micronutrients. Iron is necessary for the photosynthesis, activates many enzymes. Component of the enzyme that reduces nitrates to the ammonia. Molybdenum is important in building amino acid, and it is the important in sugar transport, cell division. Boron is important in synthesizing certain enzymes and important sugar transport and cell division. Copper is the component of several enzymes. Magnesium is involved in the enzyme activity for photosynthesis. Zinc is required in a large number of enzymes. Chlorine is involved in osmosis of water. Nickel is required in a nitrogen metabolism. So through this you can see that these all are the important components for the plant life, and if there is the absence of any of the nutrient can affect the plant life and it causes abnormality in the plant. So the next thing, that what is the role of nitrogen and magnesium in the plant. Plants get nitrogen in the form of nitrates. Nitrogen is a major component of proteins, hormones, chlorophyll, vitamins and enzymes essential for the plant life. Nitrogen metabolism is a major factor in cell and leaf growth. So means that the nitrogen, the breakdown of nitrogen and the process, the metabolism of nitrogen takes place. It helps in the stem and leaf growth. And too much nitrogen can delay the flowering and fruiting. The deficiency of nitrogen can reduce yields, cause yellowing the leaves and stunt growth. Means the excess or the loss of or the lesser amount of these nutrients can affect the plant life. So in this way, magnesium is a structural component of chlorophyll. It is also necessary for the functioning of plant enzymes to reduce carbohydrates, sugars and fats. It is also necessary for the functioning of plant enzyme. It produces carbohydrates, sugars, fats. It is used for food and nut formation and essential for the germination of seeds. And if there is a deficiency of magnesium, it causes yellowing and wilting of leaves. That is, the leaf becomes flaccid and it means it gets squirrels. So importance of fertilizers. As humans cultivated the plant need the fertilizers for the proper growth, because the fertilizer contains different types of nutrients naturally occurring, or there are two types of the fertilizers, naturally occurring and the synthetic. So naturally occurring inorganic fertilizers include the rock phosphate, elemental sulfur and gypsum. These are not chemically modified. If nitrogen is the main element, they are called as the nitrogen fertilizers. And most inorganic fertilizers dissolve readily in water and are immediately available to plants for uptake. The organic fertilizers are derived from plants and animals. That is the waste of the animals, and that means the manure and composite are that is used as the organic fertilizers. And also the leaves, when they fall and then broken down into the small pieces, and that is also get converted into the fertilizers. So they can also increase the soil drainage, aeration, and the ability of the soil to hold nutrients. The next thing is that the environmental hazards related to the fertilizers, and how fertilizers are harmful for our environment. So massive quantity of inorganic fertilizers, they actually affect the soil nutrient holding capacity, and their high solubility is also degrade ecosystem through eutrophication. Eutrophication means that there is the increase in the chemical neutronism in an ecosystem. This increase of the specific nutrient in that environment. So storage and application of some nitrogen fertilizers may cause the emission of the greenhouse gases, and these greenhouse gases obviously causes the global warming, and the ammonia gas may be emitted from the inorganic fertilizers, and this ammonia gas increases the acidity of the soil. So excessive nitrogen fertilizers can lead to the pest problems by increasing their reproduction rate. For this reason, it is recommended that the nutrient content of the soil and nutrient requirement of the crop should be calculated before the application of inorganic fertilizers. Organic fertilizers are not that much harmful, that does not cause the environmental problems due to the nitrate leaching or runoff to soluble organic compounds. But inorganic fertilizers, it is necessary to take the proper quantity after checking that in soil, and we can add the proper and required quantity of the fertilizer that is necessary for the plant. Then we will come towards the component of human food, those components that are good for the human and their quantities. So carbohydrate is one of the major components that is required. If we say that carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acid, proteins, minerals, vitamins, these all things are necessary for the human body, and these are the main components of our food as well. So carbohydrates are the basic source of energy for all animals, including the humans. So glucose is the most often used carbohydrates for energy. Other useful carbohydrates are maltose, lactose, sucrose, and starch. So carbohydrates contain 4 calories per gram. The human gets carbohydrate from the food like the bread, pastas, beans, etc. Carbohydrates are also the common source of energy. Proteins and lipids are vital building components for body, but they can also be used for the energy. Then the next thing is lipids. Lipids, if present in the food, are composed of the fatty acid that is bonded to glycerol, saturated fatty acids, and unsaturated fatty acids. Saturated fatty acids are those which are present in the solid forms, and the unsaturated fatty acids are carbon atoms that are double bonded in the place of the hydrogen atom. And generally, the lipids containing saturated fatty acids are solid at room temperature, and saturated are liquid at room temperature. In short, we say that the butter, the ghee that is present, these all are the saturated fatty acids, while oil is the unsaturated fatty acid. So the next thing is proteins. Proteins are composed of amino acids. Proteins are essential components of the cytoplasm membranes and organelles. These are also the major component of the muscles, ligaments, and tendons. So proteins are also the major components of muscles, ligaments, and tendons. We use protein for the growth. Many proteins play a role as enzymes. Proteins can also be used for gaining energy. 1 gram of proteins contains about 4 calories of energy. So dietary sources of the proteins are meat, eggs, grains, legumes, and dairy products such as the milk and cheese. And proteins can be converted into the carbohydrates. The next thing that is important for our body is minerals. Minerals are inorganic elements that originate in the earth and cannot be made in body. So these are obviously taken through the diet. So major minerals are required in the amount of 100 milligram or more per day, while trace minerals are required in the less amounts. Here are the figure of it. You can see it through the table. These are the major minerals like the sodium, that is fluid balance in the body and helps in absorption of other nutrients. Potassium maintains the fluid balance and acts as the cofactor for enzyme. And chloride is the fluid balance in the body and component of the hydrochloric acid. The sodium is also important for muscle contraction, impulse transmission, heart function, blood pressure. And calcium, that is also plays role in the development and maintenance of bones and teeth. and also in the blood clotting. Then the magnesium and phosphorus helps in development and maintenance of bones and teeth. There are some other trace minerals. The iron, that is oxygen transport and storage, aids insulin action. Zinc, it helps in the growth and reproduction. Copper acts as the enzyme factor. Chromium helps in insulin action. Fluoride stabilizes bone mineral and hardens tooth enamel, and iodine is essential for the normal thyroid function. So this fluoride is also present in our toothpaste. So these all are the minerals that are required for the human diet. So next thing is about the role of calcium and iron. So calcium is the essential for development of maintenance of bones and teeth. We all know that in the bone and teeth the calcium is present. So it is needed for maintaining cell membranes and connective tissues, for the activation of several enzymes. Calcium also helps in the blood clotting. We can take calcium from the milk, cheese, yolk, egg yolk, beans, nuts, cabbage, etc. So the deficiency of calcium causes spontaneous discharge of nerve impulses, which may result in the tightening. Bones also become soft and blood clots slowly and wounds heal slowly. So the next one is iron. Iron plays an important role in oxygen transport and storage. It is a component of hemoglobin in red blood cells and myoglobin in the muscle cells. Cellular energy production also requires the iron. It acts as a cofactor for the enzyme. We can take it from the wheat, fish, egg yolk, spinach, and its deficiency causes many diseases. Then vitamins. Vitamins are also the important component. There are two types of vitamins: the fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D, E, and K, while water-soluble vitamins are B and C. Vitamin A was the first fat-soluble vitamin identified, and it combines with a protein called the opsin to form the rhodopsin, the rod cells of the retina of eye. So when vitamin A is inadequate, the lack of rhodopsin makes it difficult to see in the dim light, and it also involved in the cell differentiation, a process. What is cell differentiation? It is actually the process in which the embryonic cell transforms into the mature cells with a specific function. Vitamin A also supports bone growth and increase the immune function. Then here's a table through which you can see that vitamin A is present in yellow fruit, spinach, fish, liver, egg. Its main function is what? It gives the vision in dim light, cell differentiation, growth, immunity, and its deficiency causes the poor growth, blindness, and dry skin. Vitamin C is present in the citrus fruit, C for citrus, so you can remember it through that. Leafy green vegetables, B flavor, and the function is that it present in the collagen formation, helps in the collagen formation. It also helps in the healing of wounds, functioning of immune system, and deficiency causes the scurvy, fatigue, poor wound healing, bleeding gums and joints. And the next one is vitamin D. This is present in fish liver oil, milk, ghee, and butter. It's synthesized by skin. Maintenance of the concentration of calcium and phosphorus is its main function, and its deficiency causes rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. So this vitamin C is also called as the ascorbic acid. These all are about the vitamins, and this is all we talked about. The next thing is effects of water and dietary fiber. What is the effect of water and dietary fiber in our life? So water is obviously necessary for the body. Nearly all life-sustaining chemical reactions required in the aqueous environment needs the water. Water also functions as the environment in which water-soluble foodstuff is absorbed in the intestine and waste products are eliminated in the urine. So another essential role of water is to maintain body temperature through evaporation, as in sweating. Several dehydration may result in the cardiovascular problems. The estimated water requirement of an average adult is 2 liters per day. So important sources of daily water intake are natural water, milk, juicy fruits, and vegetables. The other thing is dietary fibers. Dietary fibers are of two types: insoluble dietary fiber and the soluble dietary fiber. Dietary fibers is the part of our food and it is not digestible. It is that its indigestion causes the makes our small intestine, the food can easily pass from the small intestine. Sources for the insoluble dietary fibers are wheat, bran, cereals, and skins of many fruits and vegetables. While the soluble dietary fibers break down as it passes through alimentary canal, and its sources are oats, beans, barley, and many fruits and vegetables. So fiber prevents and relieves constipation by stimulating the contraction of intestinal muscles. So avoiding constipation reduces the risk of many other diseases. Soluble fiber helps in lowering blood cholesterol and sugar levels, and insoluble fiber speeds up the movement of carcinogens. Then, what is the balanced diet? Balanced diet means that we are taking all the required minerals, all the required nutrients in the proper quantity, and that is called as the balanced diet. And balanced diet is different along with the age, gender, and activity. If you are doing a lot of work, you're moving out, you're doing some exercises, then obviously you need the more nutrients. Now the person who is sitting at the home and not doing that much work, or someone who is doing just the office work, have the different sort of balanced diet. So balanced diet may be defined as the one which contains all the essential nutrients in the correct proportion for the normal growth and development of a body. So the common foods and their percentage of the nutrients is that the bread contains the 52% carbohydrates, 0.3% lipids, and 9% proteins. Rice contains 23% carbohydrates, 0.1% lipids, and proteins. These all are the different amounts of the carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins present in different food components. You can see it through this table. The next thing is about the problems that are related to the nutrition, that is malnutrition. Malnutrition is mostly considered that there is the inadequate consumption of some specific food, but it is not only that. If we eat excess amount of anything, that is also called as the malnutrition. So it often refers to the undernutrition, but it is actually not. So most commonly, malnourished people either do not have enough calories in their diet or eat a diet that lacks protein, vitamins, or trace minerals. So malnutrition weakens the immune system, impairs physical and mental health, slows thinking, stunts growth, means that person can't grow properly, and affects the fetal development. So common forms of malnutrition includes the protein energy malnutrition, mineral deficiency disease, and intake of the nutrients. The first thing, protein energy malnutrition causes the two main diseases, that is Kwashiorkor and marasmus. Kwashiorkor is due to the protein deficiency at the age of about 12 months when breastfeeding is discontinued. It can also develop at any time during a child's growing years. Child may grow to the normal height but are abnormally thin. Then marasmus is usually develops between the age of 6 months and 1 year. Patients lose all their body fat and muscle strength and acquire a skeletal appearance. The second one is mineral deficiency diseases. In this, the goiter is the most common one. It is caused by insufficient amount of iodine in diet. Iodine is used by thyroid gland to produce the hormones that control the body's normal functioning and growth. And if sufficient iodine is not available in the person's diet, then thyroid gland becomes enlarged and it results in the swelling in neck. This condition is called as the goiter. The next one is anemia. Anemia is the most common of all mineral deficiency disease, and the term anemia literally means a lack of blood. It is caused when the number of red blood cells is reduced and the normal hemoglobin molecules contains a single atom of iron at its center. If body fails to receive sufficient amount of iron, adequate number of hemoglobin molecules are not formed. And in this case, there are not enough functioning of the red blood cells and the patient is weak and there is a shortage of oxygen supply to the blood cells. The last one is overintake of nutrient. Overintake of nutrient is the form of malnutrition which the more nutrients are taken than the amount required for the normal growth and development and metabolism. So it affects the effect of over intake of nutrients are usually intensified when there is a reduction in daily physical activity. Like if you are consuming more consumption of the nutrient, then there should be the equal physical activity as well. Then what are the effects of malnutrition? It may cause the starvation. Starvation is the severe reduction in nutrient and energy intake and is most horrible effect of the malnutrition. If it is prolonged, it causes the permanent organ damage and then obviously eventually leads to the death. Then heart diseases are also increases in the global level. One of the cause of heart disease is malnutrition. People who take unbalanced diet are more composed to heart problems than constipation. If there are no proper schedule, then it leads to the constipation. And if the nutrients are taken in the large amount, that definitely causes to the obesity. Now we will move towards the major causes of the malnutrition. The first one is the famine. Famine means that there is a lack of enough food to feed all people living in an area. The most terrible famine of the 20th century are the Ethiopian famine that was from 1983 to 85 and North Korean famine in 1990s. Then the other cause of the malnutrition is unequal distribution of food. Like the amount of food given to the specific areas, specific countries are more. There is a surplus in the some countries, while in some countries there is no amount of food present there, and people obviously leads to the death. For example, we say that in America, UK, Canada, there's the surplus food, while in Ethiopia, Somalia, the amount of food is very less, and people are dying there because of the appetite, and they are affecting their health as well. So if they are alive. The next one is drought. Drought is a period of time when there is not enough water to support the agriculture and human needs. The drought is usually due to a long period of below normal rainfall. Drought decrease or even stop the crop yield and it results in the famine. Then the flooding, if there is more rainfall or due to the weak water distribution system, rivers and canals overflow. Rivers and canals overflow their banks and destroy the soil quality of agricultural land. It becomes impossible to grow crops immediately after flooding. So there is a short-term famine occur after the flooding, and then the increasing population, because the large population needs the more resources to overcome their daily needs. So it may happen that because of the overpopulated region, there is this shortage of food, and it leads to the dried, infertile land, depletion of resources, and it also causes the malnutrition. So this is all about the major components of the food. Next we will talk about the digestion movements. Thank you.